Hey everyone, this is Nick on Control Nick, and today I'm going to teach you about index match. Index match is a function that is similar to XLOOKUP, where you can look up a value, but this time it's based off of rows and columns that you have in a full table. You can always feel free to follow along using an Excel file that I have included in the description. Let's go over to the workbook now and check out index match. All right, so we're in the workbook now, and before we get started, I just want to say that index match has its use cases, but it is similar to XLOOKUP, and I do personally find XLOOKUP a little bit easier. If you want to know more about XLOOKUP, feel free to take a look at this video that I have popping up for you now. But let's go into it. So as you can see in this sheet that we have here, we have a table set that has a bunch of different customers in column B, and then along the way, you have different values for each month for those customers. Firstly, let's say that in this box, we want to look at the dropdown and let's check out customer 10. And the month, we want to look at August 25th. Now, I have these drop downs here, but you could always just manually type in customer 10 or Aug 25. It just has to be the exact same name as the headers. Now what we want to do is based off of these two criteria, we want to pull the value within the table. Now you can see that customers are in column B and months are in row 9. So to start off index match, I'm going to type into this cell that we have here, equal sign index. What index does essentially says that you want to now refer to a table array where you're going to pull information. To start off for index match, before we do any matching, we actually need to say what is the table array in reference. And typically when you hover over a full table, you're going to start from all the way in the top left corner and go down. However, for index match, you only need to do the values that you have within the table. So I'm just going to start here and click and drag all the way down to the bottom. Now, just to give you a little shortcut as well, I'm actually going to scroll up and I'm going to do this again using some shortcut keys. So I'm just going to click into this cell. And then if you hold Control and Shift on your keyboard and then use the arrow keys while continuing to hold Control Shift, I'm going to do the down arrow once and then the right arrow once. You can see that also does the same thing. And the reason I want to show you that shortcut is because if you have a much larger data set, this is way easier to do that. You don't have to keep dragging down and holding down. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up. Now we have the array of values. So we're going to start with our first match. So I'm going to do comma, and then you can actually see Excel already prompts what you're going to look for next. So we need to pull the row number for this table array that we've already highlighted. So I'm going to do match. And as you might have guessed, we're going to start with the rows being the customer. We do match, parenthesis, what value are we looking up? Well, we're looking up this value in the example here, customer 10. So I'm just going to click customer 10, which is an F3, comma. You have the value that you're interested in, and where are you going to pull from? You're going to pull from this column over here, or all this information with the customers. So it's all in column B, but notice I'm not using the header. I need to make sure that what I'm pulling as an array is aligned with the table. I'm going to do the shortcut that we just went through, Control Shift down arrow, and then we have the full array. Now, next is the match type, as you can see. So I'm going to do comma, and we want an exact match, which is 0, and that's it. Now in the index match formula, we already have the exact row match that we want to use. And now we're going to go into the column match. So I'm going to do comma, and now we need to look up the column number. So let's just go back up and we're going to follow along. And as you'll notice, as we go through this, Excel does a very solid job in just guiding you step by step on what you need next. So we're going to do match again, parenthesis. This time we're going to select the month, which we're interested in August 25, comma, and same thing as row. We're just going to highlight starting from the value reference, meaning we're going to start only with Jan 25. We're not going to start with customer. It needs to be coordinated with the full table array that we've used. And we're just going to drag over because there's not that many columns. We have the full array, comma, and we're going to do exact match again. Exact match, close parentheses. Now you can see we have index, this full table array, match, match. We've matched rows, we've matched columns. We should be good to go and we should be able to pull the value that we're interested in. So now we need to just close out one more time with another parenthesis and then enter. $51,111 is the value. Now we can double check that as well. So customer 10, which is here, and then August 25, which is here. 51,111. It's as simple as that. It's actually not that complicated. It looks a little bit complicated, but I promise you it's not. Give that a go. Try a couple more times. Again, I typically use XLOOKUP, but there are instances where index match is more useful than XLOOKUP. So play around with both. Again, feel free to reference my other video if you're also interested in XLOOKUP. As always, thank you so much for taking a look at the video. If you found it interesting, please consider liking and subscribing so you can check out other content that I have. I also have 2 videos that are going to pop up that I would recommend you take a look at if you also found index match relevant. Thanks so much again, and have a great day.